So really, that's the best they got? The president, the grand finale of the Republican National Convention at the White House, the most spectacular fireworks display ever, incredible music, incredibly moving, patriotic, and they're upset that there were no masks and no social distancing. Oh, baby, they really just don't get it. Welcome to a late night edition of the Afternoon Drive. Well, it started with the panel over at Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News. Oh, the president's speech was too long, and he was flat. It was a bit long. They used to all just such glowing when Barack Obama gave a lot of long speeches. Bill Clinton was the master of long speeches. And trust me, while Obama was certainly more interesting to listen to than Bill Clinton was, they were long. And the president has given lots of long speeches, but they were talking with low energy, low energy. You know, no matter what he did tonight, it wasn't going to be right. If he came out there and he was high energy, he doesn't care about the people that are dealing with a hurricane and they're dying down on the Gulf Coast. He doesn't care about the rioting taking place in the streets over injustice. No matter what he did, it wasn't going to be right. I personally felt that the president came out tonight like an attorney, like a master prosecuting attorney, doing what none of his surrogates, even his own family, as eloquent as they are, as well as they can speak to, if you will, the humanity of President Donald Trump. Nobody makes the case for Trump, the president, like President Trump. And what he did was he came out and he methodically, and I thought incredibly engaging, and he was talking not like at a rally where he's trying to whip up a crowd. He was talking to you. He was talking to me. He was doing what we do in radio. Radio is a one-on-one medium. Now, I have over here to the side the mic that I use if this was being broadcast for radio. And you have to understand that when you do radio, I don't care whether you're doing talk radio, I don't care whether you're doing music, I don't care if you're reading the news, I don't care if you're the guy giving the traffic report. You, in your mind, you imagine someone sitting in the room looking at you. They're responding to your joke, responding to the song you're playing, they're responding. Radio is a one-on-one personal communication. Preaching is a one-on-one communication. Doesn't matter if there's 200 or 2,000 or 12,000 people in the auditorium. You're talking directly to an individual. And tonight, President Trump masterfully, absolutely masterfully spoke one-on-one. And he did it in a crowd of 2,000 people with the White House as the backdrop. And he made a case. He defended his record. He filleted Joe Biden. You know, I love it. You know, he talks about they're the party that's going to lead us out of darkness and they can't keep the lights on in California. Oh, baby. When he talked about Biden's plan for dealing with coronavirus, that it wasn't really a plan, it was a surrender. Ooh, talking about more lockdowns, more shutdowns, more mandates, more masks.
I can't believe the president had 2,000 people there, no social distancing, and nobody's wearing a mask. He's got all the people.
Now, I'm not even going to get into, how they try to say sometimes, well, anybody to be around the president has to be screened and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Yeah, ad nauseum. We know that at the end of the day, the president, and this is what they just don't understand about him, he has the pulse on America, the American people. There is a reason he was called the blue-collar billionaire, that he related as easily as he could go into a room back in the day and hobnob with Hollywood elites and wealthy hedge fund individuals and stockbrokers and real estate moguls, etc., etc., etc. He was also very comfortable going to one of his job sites and having a slice of pizza and a beer with all the hard hat guys on the job. He's a very relatable person. His own family members, including his daughter-in-law, said that, she didn't come from the kind of lifestyle that her husband grew up in as a child. She came from a working class family. She had a job. She had to work her way through a state college. But she said when she met the Trump family, she was just blown away by how down to earth. Rand Paul said the same thing, and he made a joke about it. Down to earth for a guy who owns his own jet plane with his name on the side and helicopters and, lives on the 100th floor of his own penthouse building. But very relatable. Donald Trump knows the American people. And one thing he knows, we're sick of shutdowns. We're sick of mandates. We understand this is not the plague, that 99.8% of the people who get it will survive. Get the masks off and let us get back to normal. And when the American people tuned in, they saw normal. Biden and his people are constantly trying to, you talk about fake staging. He and his vice president, when they walk out on a stage together, they wear masks. They do, the no touch high five. It's just so staged and so phony. They give a speech in an empty room while people sit outside in a Walmart parking lot and watch it on a big jumbotron. And then they do a few fireworks in the parking lot that, President Trump, it wasn't just the show. He gave people normal. I don't know about you. I can't stand now when I see certain TV commercials and, they got the mask on. I'm not talking about the PSAs where they're, talking about, gotta wear the mask. I'm not about regular products now. Somebody going into an AT&T store for a phone and they got a mask on. Stop. Just stop. The Domino's pizza commercial still drives me nuts with the guy alone in his car with a mask on and the guy coming out to give him contactless delivery by putting the pizza in his hatchback. He's also wearing a mask. Give me a break. Give me normal. And what they tried to do, though, the part that really just infuriates me, well, this is what happened to Herman Cain. He went to a Trump rally and he died. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Herman Cain had cancer. Herman Cain had extenuating health issues. These people, they have no conscience. They have no soul. They are just absolutely vile, awful, reprehensible. Like listening to Joe Biden now try to spin the whole thing that, the out-of-control violence in the cities, I did condemn it. No, he didn't. Not one mention of it the entire week of the Democratic convention. And when they did mention it weeks ago, it was always peaceful protest, peaceful protest. Even on a CNN crawl, CNN reporter standing there, the whole neighborhood behind him is ablaze. Despite some fires, peaceful protest. Despite some, people are being killed. People are being beaten up. Businesses are being destroyed. One car dealership the building got burned to the ground. Every car on the lot got burned right down to the hubs. And the sad thing was on the sign of the dealership had big, we support Black Lives Matter. And the Black Lives Matter anarchists burned the place to the ground anyway. Joe Biden has done nothing to condemn this. Democrat mayors, Democrat governors have done nothing to condemn it. They have allowed it to go on. Why Anderson Cooper tonight in his post-convention commentaries laughing, saying, oh, this is all happening on Trump's watch. How can they keep blaming it on Joe Biden? And, the other their panelists are laughing too. Well, The president can't just send in the troops, which is what he wanted to do, and everybody decried that. This is a draconian and police state. He has to wait and be invited in. And the governors and the mayors of these Democrat states and cities won't let him in. It's on Joe Biden. America wants law and order, and they want normal. And they got it tonight. President Trump's speech was a home run. It was a phenomenal case for why he needs to be reelected. It was one of the best conventions. And I'm going to say something, and I like the big crowds, and I like live, and I'm, watching this virtual baseball where they got cutout cardboard fans in the stands. Yeah. I almost think I kind of like this format of a lot of it being done in a professional visual presentation as opposed to one speech after another speech, and half the time, the networks aren't even really covering the speeches. They're talking over the top of it, and even when they do show the speech, they're also showing the crowd, people walking around and talking and laughing, and like nobody's paying attention to anything going on the stage. I really like this, and I thought the way they handled the vice president, the first lady, President Trump, doing those portions live before a live crowd, awesome. They just did this right, and the Democrats know they're in trouble. It was a great convention. It was a great night. It was a great speech. More energized now than ever to support the re-election of this president. And it wasn't low energy. The energy there was electric, and it came through the TV. People are absolutely energized, and they were surrounded by real Americans. Real Americans telling their story, not just a bunch of politicians vying for camera time to use it for their next campaign or their next move up the political ladder. This was great. It was awesome. Well done, Mr. President.